Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your Libertarian car guy, and I'm going to do a quick little walk around here of this 17 Hyundai Elantra, which is new for 2017, and it's very weird to me the way a number of car companies, including Hyundai, are undermining themselves. It's good for us, may not be so good for them, and by that I mean this thing is just about the same size on the inside, or at least usefully, in terms of its useful space, about the same size as the step-up model, the Sonata, which is one of my favorites. My mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law, got one based on my recommendation. She really likes it. Great car. Well, the Elantra is too, and it's significantly less expensive. It starts just over 17. The Elantra starts over 21, and they're very comparable. They even have very similar drivetrain options. You can get the 2-liter engine in this thing, you can get a 1.6 turbo, and you can get a 1.4 Eco with a 7-speed automated manual. And if you go through and look at the specs for the Sonata, you'll find very similar layout. But again, this is less expensive. And let's have a look at the inside before I get mobbed by these chickens. That's what happens when you're out here in the woods. Anyway, have a look at that back seat. Lots of room back there. I can't recall the exact specs offhand, but it's something like 36 and change inches of legroom back there, which is sufficient even for a big, tall geek like me. And now let's have a look at the inside. Let me get settled in here. You'll see that the way the car is laid out here is actually quite similar to what you'd find inside the Elantra. The console is similar. The way the dash is shaped is similar. You've got a touchscreen, of course. You've got climate control, of course. This one has heated seats. It's got the drive mode that a number of Hyundai vehicles have, which you can toggle from sport to eco. As they say up in New York, what's not to like, you know? And to top all that, Hyundai has actually lowered the price of the entry-level Elantra by $100 for the new model year. So while there is certainly a lot to complain about these days, including the EPA and some of the idiocy that's going on there also is a lot to be happy about, including some of the great cars that are available, and particularly on the lower end. I wrote about this, I guess, a couple of days ago. I think it's still up on the site. One of the better kept secrets about the car business today is that on the lower end, cars have all the things that used to be exclusively available in higher end cars for a heck of a lot less money, and that includes space. Some of these lower end cars, I had a Kia Forte last week, lower price cars I should say, actually have more room than cars that cost twice as much and are at least nominally in a higher class. That Kia Forte, for example, is considered a compact, and when I was looking at it, I also had a Lexus GS, nice car, but I was looking at the specs of both cars, and it turned out that the Kia actually had more room on the inside, both first and second row, than the Lexus GS. And I'm going to bet you that this Elantra has front and second row legroom that's very comparable to a mid-sized luxury car like a GS or even a Benz E-Class, about the same size trunk. And you know, all this other stuff, it's pretty fabulous. Really, at this point, the only things that differentiate the lower priced cars from the higher priced ones, just missed Mr. Squirrel, luckily, showing the great handling reflexes of the Hyundai Elantra. But anyway, the chief thing that differentiates a car like this from a Lexus or a Mercedes, obviously, is the cachet. You can dangle the keys to your Mercedes or your Lexus, and the engine. The cars in that class, Mercedes and Lexus and so on, tend to have more power, but even that is a relative thing. If you're a Gen Xer like me or older, you will remember when the lower end cars came with really low powered engines, and they topped out around 80 miles an hour. Literally, that was their top speed. If you got into something like a K car from the 80s, which many of us Gen X people, our parents were driving cars like that, and we learned how to drive on those cars as teenagers. 80 or so miles an hour was the top. That's as fast as they went, and it took them about 15 seconds to get to 60. Today, something like this, this Hyundai Elantra gets to 60 in about 7-ish, maybe 8 seconds with a standard engine, which is really speedy. It's as speedy as my Trans Am was when it was brand new back in the 70s. Ooh, is there a squealer up here? There might be a squealer. Wait! Wait, nope, is it? No, my V1 was going off. I thought that might be a porker, but it's not. Anyway, back on track. Point being, trust me, this thing will do well over triple-digit speeds, and it has absolutely no problem getting to 80 miles an hour at all. So what you're getting when you buy the higher-end stuff is ludicrous speed as opposed to absolutely adequate speed. Those higher-end cars will do 160, 170 miles an hour. They'll do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, or 6 seconds. So, it's splitting hairs. Nobody is being deprived of anything anymore. You can't buy a slow car anymore except for the Prius. The hybrid, that's about the only slow car that you could still buy. Anyway, end of this rant, and I'll have a review of this car up on the site shortly. There's also a piece up there about fake news and Obamacare, and something else also about Ford's latest announcement about the 2018 Mustang that you guys might be interested in. So thanks for viewing, and we will catch up with you again soon.